Is this your first time in the DLC, or are you just on a second character? Either or, I will show you exactly what you need to do in order to get the strongest start in Shadow of the Erdtree. We're going to get God tier gear, weapons, and talismans. We are also going to secure Scadutree Blessing level 10 and Revered Spirit Ash level 5. Also a larval tier so that you can respec and some other key items for your playthrough. Everything you need in order to crush anything that stands in your way in just one video, so let's go. So I leveled this character up just to show you this route. You're gonna get this from the very start. Ta-da! This never gets old. The first thing we're gonna want to do is we're going to want to move down here and grab the map fragment. Alright, so from this point we are going to want to go up until this cliff right here and grab a Revered Spirit Ash, and then we're going to want to move around here and down to this church and grab 2 Scadutree fragments. And also our 2 Scadutree fragments. Alright, so from this point we're going to want to move out of here and up all the way to the ruins right here. We're going to grab a hefty crackpot, a Site of Grace, and then we're going to move up here and grab our 3rd Scadutree fragment. So that running into the Scorched Ruins, you're just going to grab this hefty crackpot right here. On the other side of it, grab the Site of Grace. And then start heading southeast, more eastbound, up to these gravestones here, and look for a guy with a pot on his head. He's right there. Kill him, and grab your Scadutree fragment, and grab the Site of Grace over at the crossroads here. And here you will also find a Scadutree fragment. Now from right here, we're going to want to rest until nightfall, pass time until nightfall. And why we waited until nightfall is because from this point we're gonna run up here, over to this ledge, look for a little pool of blue dew. In there should be a larval tier, and they only show up at night. From that point we're gonna move down here and also grab a cookbook and 2 crafting materials, and then we're gonna move our way up around this ledge here and up to this point, where we're gonna take another Spirit Ash. If you don't want the Spirit Ashes, if you don't use them, just skip that part, I guess. So now that we're over here, you can see the pool of blue dew right there. There's also a Site of Grace to the left. Boom, boom. I'm gonna turn around, move straight down here to this little shack at the bottom of the bridge. And here we're gonna grab 2 crafting materials and a cookbook. This cookbook gives you the hefty furnace pot recipe that you need in order to kill some of the furnaces that walk around in the Shadowlands. Move back up, take this Site of Grace right here. And from this point, we're gonna wrap around the edge of the cliff right here and grab our Revered Spirit Ash. Then you're going to want to come up to this Site of Grace right here, the main gate cross Site of Grace. Right here, you are going to find another Scadutree fragment. And for this video, I want this guy's gear right here. His name is Moore. I want his gear. So I am going to skip his quest line. If you want to do this quest line, skip this step I'm doing right now. But if you want to do as I do, then we're going to want to come over to Moore and speak to him. Finish his dialogue and then buy anything off him. That will open up so that you can talk to Moore more. Once you finish his dialogue, move over to this guy right here. Also finish his dialogue. Then you're going to TP back to the same Site of Grace. Speak to this NPC again till you can ask him about the person in the Verdigris Armor, which is Sir Moore. From this point, we're going to want to come up the edge right here until you come to a Site of Grace about right here. You're going to want to move up the hill right here, find a graveyard with a guy with a pot over his head, kill him, get the Scadutree fragment. Then you're going to want to move down again and up this hill. Here you will find a Forager Brood. You can pick up the cookbook that he has, and then you're going to kill him. And then optionally, you can move down here and grab a Revered Spirit Ash. There's the guy with a pot over his head. Smack him. Secondly, we move up to this point right here, where the Forager Brood is. We're gonna grab his cookbook, and then we're just gonna kill him. And why we kill him is because this is the fastest way to get the Verdigris Armor set. Because you see in the DLC, you can't kill NPCs, or most of the NPCs you can't kill in their first stages, and Moore basically just has one stage. Over there, you can find the Spirit Ash, Revered Spirit Ash. I just grabbed it. Now you are going to want to enter the Belurat Tower Settlement. And what you do is basically just enter the gate right here, grab the Scadutree fragment halfway up the stairs, then you just continue up the stairs until you get to this Site of Grace. Now from this site of grace, there's basically only one way that you can go, which is up the stairs right there. You're gonna move up the stairs, up the second pair of stairs, hold left, and continue all the way up here. Once you get up here, you're gonna want to enter through the door right here, go up the stairs, and you are at the second site of grace. From this site of grace, you're going to want to move up these stairs, hold left right here, take a right once you come up those stairs, left again. You can actually jump over these ruins, in through this door right here, and up the little ladder, and then hold right up the stairs. Once you get up to this point, you're going to actually want to move down the stairs again, wrap around here, jump over these ruins, and there's a secret door. Enter through the door, continue up the stairs, and you're at the Mikla Cross, where you'll find a Scadutree fragment, per usual. Now from this Mikla Cross right here, you're just gonna turn around and exit back out. We're gonna go back up the stairs we came from. Then we're gonna jump on the roofs, watch out for birds, and then kill the guy with a pot over his head. Get your Revered Spirit Ash. You can just continue over the bridge. Try to dodge this guy right here, which I did not manage to do. And then continue left until you get up to this tree right here. Here you will find another Revered Spirit Ash. Continue inside the building and up the stairs until you get to the site of grace outside the boss room. Now, once you've grabbed everything in the Belurat Tower settlement, you're going to want to come back out to the 3-pass cross site of grace. From this point, you're going to want to move over the bridge, grab the site of grace, also grab the Scadutree fragment right here, and then continue into the castle until you get to the main gate of the castle. So we go over the bridge, we grab our Scadutree fragment, we also grab the site of grace, and then we continue into the castle. Pick up the Scadutree fragment. Now we're going to want to come back to the castle front site of grace, and from here we're going to move down the road here, up on this little ledge out here, grab a Scadutree fragment, and then we're going to turn back, go back through this crevice right here, under here, through the lakes, and jump up some spirit springs. Skip to that part. Now once you're down at the poison pools right here, you're going to want to jump up the spirit spring over here, but in order to do that you first need to destroy this little lock up here. Now we can jump up until we get to Fort Reprimand. Now from this site of grace, just move through the fort, until you get out on the other side. Now from this point, we're going to want to move out through here, come around to this side, open up another spirit spring, run back, jump up the spirit spring, make our way all the way up to the top right here. And here we'll find another Scadutree fragment. Right here, smack the spirit spring lock thingy, back around and jump up. Grab the Scadutree fragment and the site of grace. From this point, we're going to want to come down the mountain again, all the way down here to Morth Ruins. And if you don't have the map fragment, just continue following the road until you get up to this crossroads and grab the map fragment. So the route I'm planning to take from here is to go basically across Morth Ruins, grab a Scadutree fragment from a pot guy. From that point, I'm gonna move over here, grab the weapon we're gonna use for the build we're making. Next, we're gonna go down to these 3 tents right here, grab another Scadutree fragment, then cross over right here and grab another Scadutree fragment. Then we're gonna come around and up to the site of grace right here, grab another Scadutree fragment, move straight through the archway right here until you find the pot guy. There he is. You will get ambushed right here, so watch out. So now I'm at the Ruinforge Starfall Pass, and this is gonna be the route for the weapon. If you don't want it, just skip this part. I'm gonna make timestamps down below, so just skip to the next part. And right here is the weapon. And also an ancient dragon smithing stone. Once you're back at Morth Ruins, up the hill, in between these tents right here, you will find a Scadutree fragment. Head back out and down towards these trees until you get up to this cave right here, where you will find another Scadutree fragment. And then come up to this point right here, where you will find a Monk's Missive, Scadutree fragment, and also the Site of Grace. This part is important if you want the gear. You're going to want to come back. You could have done this earlier, but I'm doing it now. Come back to the main gate, cross Site of Grace. Speak to Moore again. He's going to tell you a brood was killed and it's a tragedy. This cannot be forgiven. Speak to him until his dialogue is ended. And then you can go back to the high road, cross Site of Grace. All right, so from this point right here, we're going to want to move out up to the church right here, grab a Scadutree fragment, and we're going to want to come out up right here, kill another forager brood. More will attack you. You will kill him. You will get the gear. Then you're going to want to come down here, grab the third Scadutree fragment in this area. You can upgrade with your Scadutree fragments. I'm not going to do that because I want to make a comparison in the end of this video. So I'm not going to upgrade anything. But in order to fight more, it could be nice. In this Church of the Crusade, you will also get invaded, but you can just run away from him. We just want our Scadutree fragments, and then we're gone. If you run a bit back, he will return to his world. Then you want to come up here, kill this forager brood, and you will get invaded by more. Just wait a little bit. Once he is dead, you will get his armor, which is really heavy, but it's really good as well. Now you want to enter into this camp right here and grab your Scadutree fragments. From this point on, we're going to respec so that we have the right stats for the build that we're making. Then we're going to grab the talismans and the mixed physic that we need for this build. So start off by going to Rea Lucaria, the Grand Library, to speak to Renala. So the stats I'm going for with this build is 35 Vigor, 20 Mind, 54 Endurance, 46 Strength, Dexterity to 13, and then I'm just going to stack on Arcane and Strength from that point, because this weapon scales with Arcane and Strength. So these two you can always bump up as much as you want just to increase the damage. Then you will also be wise to increase your mind up to about 33. This makes it so that you can do the special attack on the weapon 7 times before you go out of mana. And why I go so heavy into endurance is because we need 54 endurance and the talisman that we're picking up a little bit later, which is the Great Jar's Arsenal, in order to not be maximum equip load or not be heavy load, so that we can roll and dodge freely. Alright, so the first talisman, which is the Carrion Filigreed Crest talisman, you buy from Iji at this point right here, just next to Road to the Manor Site of Grace. It costs 5,000 runes, and if he doesn't sell this to you, then you need to go up to this point right here, which is Rani's Rise. You just go to the top floor of the building, you speak to Rani, and then you go back down the stairs and speak to Iji and Celavus. They will have ghosts standing in the building, so you just speak to them. After that, you should be able to buy the Filigreed Crest from Iji. The second talisman that we want is the Spear Talisman. This weapon that we use has a lot of thrusting attacks, so this will go great with this weapon. And in order to get this, you need to come over to Scenic Lake Site of Grace. This is on the main map in Liurny of the Lakes. Make your way straight down to the mountainside and into the Lakeside Crystal Cave. It looks like the entrance to the cave is up on this hill, but it's actually about right here at the edge of the water. Then you just run straight into the cave, follow the main path of the cave and hold right all the way till you get to this point right here. Right here, there will be a chest with a talisman inside. For our third talisman, which is the Great Jar's Arsenal that we need in order to not be heavy load, we are going to want to come over to Caelid and out to this edge right here. And to get there, we need to go to the Deep Siofra Well Site of Grace. If you do not have the Site of Grace, you need to come over to Siofra River Well over in Limgrave and make your way through the cave all the way until you get out on the other side. There are guides on how to get here. I'm not going to do this for this video because it would make the whole video a lot longer. Make your way all the way out to this ginormous pot guy over here and speak to him. After you've spoken to him, you're going to challenge 3 summons, and after that you get the talisman if you speak to him again. While we are in Caelid, we're gonna grab the crystal tears for our mixed physic over at the minor Erdtree at this point right here. Kill the tree spirit and you will get both of them. These are the Opaline hard tier and also the Stonebarb cracked tier. And the Opaline hard tier will temporarily boost all damage negation, so we are already pretty tanky, but this always comes in clutch. And the Stonebarb cracked tier will make stance breaks easier. To get an early stance break on a boss, for example, is a great way to get good momentum. And for our final talisman, which is the two-handed swords talisman, which enhances attacks with two-handed weapons, you are going to want to come over back to Morth Ruins. You're going to run up through here, through the cave in the water right here, till you get out on the other side here. Follow these poisonous pools to this point right here, until you get out on the other side right here. Grab the ancient ruined Site of Grace, and follow the road all the way down until you get to the Temple Town ruined Site of Grace. Alright, so once you're at this Site of Grace right here, you're just going to want to run up this way. Just around this corner right here will be an entrance. Head up the stairs. Underneath here, you will find a Scadutree fragment. Then you want to make it all the way up to the top of the building, where you will find a chest and a two-handed sword talisman. So before the route, I did about 1,800 damage to this boss. And now once we've grabbed all of our Scadutree fragments, let's see how we do against this boss. And since we upgraded him, we might as well summon this guy. Ouch. Remember to two-hand the weapon, so you can block. Let's grab our mixed physic and go at him. See, we can take a lot of damage. We get a knock on him right away with the heavy attack. That does a shit ton, and we can just finish him up with the final spell. I didn't even use a mana pot, and that is the first boss. I am by no means good at this game, so you see that we got pretty powerful and tanky just by doing all of this. Now, as usual, if this video helped you out, smash the like button, consider subscribing, closing up on 1,000 subscribers. We want to get monetized, you know what it is. See you in the next video. Peace.